YouTube podcast world, you already know what it is. Pays and Plays podcast here. Going to be giving you week 9 in the NFL season. That's crazy. We're already in week 9. Time has been flying. We're already 2 months and some change in. I will tell you though, depending on what book, I'm going to be going off the DraftKings. But between that and FanDuel, you have a range between 7 and 9 games that are having a 3-point spread or around 2.5 point spread. I was about to say, depending on what book you get them from. These games, the last few weeks, we have been seeing these games have been very close to the last end. There's a couple numbers where the numbers is a little bigger than 3. We'll talk about them. We'll bring it the whole slate. Well, that being said, though, we're not going to talk about what we did last week because last week we fucking went crazy. Well, if you follow me and tell me, you went crazy too, all right? We're gonna I had a friend that told me the realest thing as I'm a new YouTube content creator. He told me, look, everything comes in with time. Long as the results and the work that you put in shows, people gonna fuck around and know. And shout out to him on that one because that's the realest shit, and I needed that. But let's get right into it though. We got Thursday night football. We got the Tennessee Titans versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are minus 3-point favorites. I'm going with the Titans to win the cover and the upset underdog. These, this is Thursday night football games, man. I tell you why I even avoid them, and for some reason I've been on kind of on the right side more than I've been wrong. So I'm actually kind of impressed. But I don't know what's going to happen with Kenny Pickett and his injury. Are you playing? Are you not playing? And from what I see with Mitchell Trubisky, bro, he still does the same shit I seen from Chicago, bro. And he stares down here. He just stares down a receiver, bro, the whole time. And then when he throws the ball, it's already too late. It's an interception bound to happen. Will Levis, he did look very impressive. It almost makes you wonder what they need to use that same type of play style with him when he can gunsling it around. D-Hops look very re-innovated. You got Henry look rejuvenated as well. So maybe that did help. Yes, they are playing Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh. The defense, we all know about it, but listen, you can run on this Pittsburgh team. So I believe if you can attack that run game, the main weakness we know about Pittsburgh will be the secondary. You can attack that. You can attack that secondary if you do it play action fake. Because I almost feel like Levis and kind of helped this offense get a whole new jump. But with that being said, though, I got the Titans to win and cover. Next game, we got some Germany football. We got the Miami Dolphins versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are minus 2.5-point favorites. I got the Chiefs to win and cover in a bounce back spot. And there's really no science to it, but this is what I'm going to tell you because it's Miami. Miami plays against these big-time opponents, and they don't show up. The last time they won against a team over 500 was the Bills when you go back to last year around week 3, week 4, if I don't recall. I remember that week in particular. That's when Tua had the bandy legs and the concussion started coming into play. That's just really how I look at it. I mean, the Chiefs defensively, I will say this. They've been better. But there is some concern, okay? I wouldn't pick a side on this one. So I believe Miami is flying out to Germany, I believe, Tuesday. And the Chiefs are trying to fly there Thursday night. I don't really know, man. I don't really know about how your body changes and how that goes. You would think you lean, but I don't really fucking know, bro, because none of that shit really matters to me. I guess it depends on where they play on the field. But I don't know, bro. I don't touch international games unless it's the Jacksonville Jaguars in London because we know they play good. Next game, we got the Minnesota Vikings versus the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons are minus 5-point favorites. Bro, I don't even know who's going to be the quarterback for the Vikings because Kirk Cousins is gone, right? So I'm just going to go with the Falcons to win the cover just because of that. How else? I don't really know, bro. Taylor Heineke looked very good. It was about time they switched to him from Desmond Ritter. Bijan looked solid. I feel like, the Falcons, Falcons to win the cover. The more I think about it, the more I love it more. Heineke gave this team a spark when they needed the most, and they gonna lean on that run game. And of course, they play solid, good defense. They're very underrated on the defensive side. No one really talks about them, but you playing at home to beat up Vikings team, man. I'm going ahead and go with the Falcons to win the cover, even with the -5. Next game, we got the Seattle Seahawks traveling to the DMV to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are -5.5-point favorites. I got the Ravens to win and cover. And it goes to the Seahawks, man. It's that defense is so sketchy, bro, because it was a point where that offense and defense was clicking, and then they let Cleveland come back in the game. With the offense with Lamar, what we've been seeing is very impressive. And I mean, he's been able to do everything. Now, they should have covered last week. It wasn't that little bullshit touchdown that the Cardinals scored. And then there was an onside kick. And then it was a field goal that was missed. And then it was that was some foul shit. Ravens should have covered that. They bounced back in this game. Listen, man, against this defense with the Seahawks, they have gotten better. But it's the fact that it's going to be the Ravens defense at home, and I think they're going to have the upper echelon, the upper leverage on this game. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the Ravens to cover the -5.5. Next game, we got the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Cleveland Browns. Browns are -8. This is going to be an ugly game because this is bound to be an ugly game when it's Cleveland involved. Cardinals to cover, Browns to win. I don't trust a -8 point. I mean, listen, I know the defense is amazing, and I think this is why they're giving them so much respect to a certain degree. But you giving me 8 points with PJ Walker? Nah. If it was like 3, 4, I might have been comfortable saying Browns to win the cover. But +8 Cardinals, it sounds great, man. I almost feel like if you like this number to let it wait, because I feel like people are going to keep on definitely taking the Browns. But if you are into teasers, which by the way, the week 8 teaser did hit. So we have 2 teaser parlays for the year that has hit. If you do like the Browns, I would tease it from 7, with 7 points to tease it out of -1. I think that would be a good angle. Next game, we got the Chicago Bears traveling to the Saints to take on, New Orleans Saints, of course. You got Saints -7. I got the Saints to win and cover. The backup quarterback, man, I think we pretty much saw what we saw. And New Orleans then woke up. I feel like they need to go back to what made them be good. It was run the ball. It was to use Taysom Hill sometimes in them packages. And it opened up Derek Carr. Derek Carr was slinging that ball, little do you know. I mean, he got a little comfortable. I feel like that was the perfect game for him to get right. And I feel like this offense will keep moving against a defense that's complete dog shit. We know how Chicago defenses are. They haven't been good in quite a while. I think we saw with the Chargers, even with Herbert having a messed up hand, it didn't even matter. So I'm going ahead and go with the Saints to win and cover. If Fields, well, I don't think he's coming back. I would have loved it at +7, but if Fields is not playing, I'm not doing it. Another good teaser option too. Take Saints, tease it down to -1 or 0. They just got to win. Next game, we got the LA Rams taking on the Green Bay Packers. Packers are -3-point favorites. I'm going to fade my Packers the rest of the year. I'm going Rams to win and cover, even if Stafford is hurt, because this man Stafford is tough as fuck. He has the memories of fucking playing Green Bay. I don't think he has won against Green Bay in quite a long time. I think this week it changes. I don't trust my Packers offense. They have a solid defense, but I mean, when Jordan Love doesn't do shit, what you think the team's gonna do? Complete dog shit. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Rams to win and cover with the underdog. Next game, we got the Washington Commanders going to Foxborough to take on the Patriots. Patriots -3-point favorites. This one is kind of tricky, man. This is very freaking tricky. I'm gonna go with the Commanders to win and cover. The more I think about it is because I look at the offensive sides. I'm not betting this game regardless, but this is what I'll give you my perspective on this, and you guys can take it however you want to take it. If I go with Washington, if you're going to Washington, you're pretty much saying you expect another high scoring game with them. They got the better offensive weapons, don't get it wrong, but do you rely on that offensive line? And if you're picking the Patriots, rely on their defense to show up. And then they play a little bit of, they've been playing a little better offense. So you pretty much expecting your defense to do most of the work. And then they do that ground and pound, and then they play action fake and let Mac Jones move around the pocket. I think the best play would be the under 40. But I couldn't really decide on this one, bro. Trust me. I don't think the Redskins had gave up yet. Commanders, sorry. I know we used to playing Redskins. I don't think they're giving up just yet. Neither has the Patriots, too. So Riverboat Ron definitely fighting for his job. And same thing with Belichick to a certain degree, because we're hearing rumors about him and Robert Kraft may mess around, tell him to fire him, and Gerard Mayo maybe. I've been hearing that. I don't know how true that is, but I've been hearing a lot of shit about that possibly happening. So who knows the end of this year. I've been saying I think Bill Belichick need to retire anyway, but we'll see. Next game, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to H-Town to take on the Texans. Texans are minus 2.5-point favorites. I got the Buccaneers to win and cover. I just don't trust the Houston Texans with a 2.5 number. Not as a favorite, bro. If it's like a pick 'em, we're maybe talking different, but as a favorite, after last week, man, we know the struggles with having a rookie quarterback with C.J. Stroud, even though I think he's had an amazing year. I don't think he's faced the defense since the Baltimore defense like the Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers bounce back. They should have beat the Bills, right? Think about how many games we've been saying the Bills should have lost the last few weeks anyway. But this game with the Buccaneers, I expect the offense to go crazy. I expect the defense to step up because Devin White, Lamonte, I already say about those two guys. The front seven alone is concern for me, is why I'm going with the Buccaneers. Yes, it pains me to say they don't have a running game, and that's really what this team is missing. But for some reason, Baker Mayfield find ways to make plays. So I'm going to go ahead with the Buccaneers and a slight underdog to win this game and cover. Next game, we got the Indianapolis Colts traveling to the Carolina Panthers. Panthers are plus 2.5-point underdogs. I got the Colts to win and cover. This is a good bounce back spot, even with Gardner Minshew. I believe in this, man. If the Panthers, they got their first win, and everyone down there in Charlotte's probably like, finally, oh, we got to win. About damn time. I know people personally who was glad they actually got one win. And it was an ugly-ass win. But I do think the Colts, DeForest Buckner is a monster. I just need to know in Shaq Leonard, the offensive line for the Panthers has been a little improved, but I have to kind of wonder and concern. They've been having problems all year. And Bryce Young has been struggling. That game he had against the Texans was not impressive. So you can't sit there and say, if you want to look at the stats and say, oh, he did this, he did that. I don't think that correlates, bro. Not at all in this game. Gardner Minshew makes better plays. Jonathan Taylor. And the one thing about the Panthers defense, you can't run on this Panthers defense. So I expect a lot of Zach Moss, a lot of Jonathan Taylor, and then a couple throws here to Michael Pittman Jr. And you know what? Josh Downs, even though he's a 5th-round pick rookie, very fucking impressive, man. Very, very impressive. I think with that being said, Colts to win and cover this game. Next game, we got the Dallas Cowgirls taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are minus 3-point favorites. I got the Eagles to win and cover. This game is not going to be I think this is going to be a slugfest. I don't see a lot of points with 46.5. I see it going under, unless the team just gets blew out. That's just how I look at it, because these two teams, sometimes the games, somebody ends getting blown out in the overhits just because of that. But you can run on this Cowboys defense, and Philly can run the ball. So I expect a lot of DeAndre Swift, a lot of RPO with Hurts. I expect the brotherly push, whatever y'all call it, the tuck push, whatever y'all want to call that. I see a lot of that happening. Expect a good play action fake to, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith. I think this offense will get going because I know everyone talks about Michael Parsons, but no one talks about him when he goes up against the run. You can run the ball. I think the 49ers put on a clinic on how you can beat the Cowboys defensively. And I kind of see the Eagles kind of like mixing some of that with their own shit. So with that all being said, though, give me the Eagles to cover the -3. Next game, we got the New York Giants going to Vegas to take on the Raiders. Raiders are -3-point favorites. Well, I'm going to say this. If you're expecting Tyrod Taylor and Danny Dimes not to play, just go ahead and pick the Raiders. And there's not even much science about it. I feel like after the performance we've seen with Monday night game, if McDaniels does not get fired, then they're going to lose. If he gets fired, they're going to win the game just off the fact that the coach is gone, bro. That's just how the mindset be when coaches be getting fired. But either or, like I said, bro, if they really lose to a third-string quarterback, bro, McDaniels is definitely out of here because I would expect him to win against a third-string quarterback who only had, a -1 yard passing. I'm just saying, but see, with that ball, that still impresses me, bro. The team had like negative passing yards and was still moving the ball up and down the field, running the ball. So I wouldn't even know how to predict this game. This is the type of game the Raiders are supposed to win, but they'll fuck around and lose. Next game, Sunday Night Football. Buffalo Bills traveling to Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals are -3-point favorites. This is the game that, we all remember with DeMar Hamlin last season. Glad that man's playing him well. But with all that being said, Bengals win and cover this game. Bengals, but listen, it started with the Cardinals game, right? And I was on the bandwagon even when they lost. I picked them to beat the Ravens and they lost. I didn't give up on this team. I told you this team starts slow. And I even said last week the possibility of them winning the game, not only covering against the 49ers, was very possible. Look what happened, right? We're going to pick them to win against the Bills. Joe Burrow got this thing going, man. He's cooking, man. Jamar Chase is cooking. T. Higgins is cooking. Tyler Boyd cooking. Barbecue chicken alert when it comes to this motherfucking team. The defense is scrappy. I love it. You don't even know too many players on our defense. I mean, only because I know Reader, you got Hubbard. They're like the main two guys I really know. Other than that, I think a regular person would name one person on defense for the Bengals. Very good team. The Bills, man, I don't understand. Listen, this defense is a concern. And I don't like saying last year, but when they Bengals played them in the playoffs and they blew them out, there was injury concerns with the Bills. And it's happening all over again. And I can see the Bengals taking advantage of that. And they're going to fuck around and win this game and cover. -3 is cool, but if it falls down to -2.5 during the week, it was -2 at one point when it first opened up the lines. So pick and choose when you see it, but 2.5, I love it more, but -3 is cool. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe, keep liking the content, pass the word around. You already know what it is. We keep going up from here. And lastly, we had the Monday Night Football game. LA Chargers going to the East Coast to New Jersey, take on the New York Jets. Jets +3. Jets to win the cover. Jets to win the cover. Yeah. At least the +3. Bro, I don't think this Chargers team is that good. I think it's because of Brandon Staley as the coach. I just don't think the team is this good. Herbert did play good, but it was against the Bears. This is an elite team. How many times every week have I said about how legit this Jets defense has been? And they show it week in and week out. The under 41.5, I love that. If you want a teaser, I'll tease that up to maybe almost 48.5. We talk about probably a lot. Zach Wilson didn't play well. It still troubles me that they played against but they're playing against a Chargers team that, other than Derwin James, I can't really rely on this team. So you're pretty much hoping the Jets defense just shows up and shut out Herbert. It's very possible it can happen. So we'll just see how that goes, all right? As always, guys, continue liking the content. Let's get this money. Good Friday will come on this Friday as well. Best bets. You already know what it is. Let's get it.